Hey, welcome. How you doing? I am the story sentence coach. I'm not tired today. I am tired. I'm sleepy. So I just did like this really long video, like 17 minutes. I almost deleted it by mistake. I was so thirsty. My water was overflowing. I'm like holding my phone. And then I look, do you really want to delete this video? And there's like this message on the phone. I'm like, no, cancel. Okay, so that was an impromptu, just go with the flow introduction to writing about tragedy, right? Falling out of love with your writing, picturing the scene. I don't know how that got in there. It stumps me. It stumps me as a teacher. Like, how can you picture a scene in your head and not be able to write something about the scene, right? You could give something, but no, they just say, I can see the characters doing things, but I can't describe it. Okay. Maybe I should just let it die. Oh, it's a tragedy. Okay, I have all these ideas to include in my story. Don't know how. How do I put this whole story together? All I have is notes. I have an outline, but I don't know how to work the outline. Huh. All right. Okay, thank you. See you later. No, I just did a false conclusion. Okay. So, you'll tell people about your life, something about your life. Great thing is sky notes. The sky is over my head. I went through this horrible experience, I think it was just last night, and I looked at Pinterest. I was planning to put my sky notes on Pinterest, and when I typed in clouds and sky, all this AI stuff comes up. Some of it is labeled AI, some of it's not. And I'm an artist. I know what AI is. I know how hard a good painting is to make. And if you know, and these are possibly people who are artists making these, and they're like, let's make a bunch of these and it'll popularize my channel. And then, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, this whole opportunity is lost. And I started blaming myself. That's the evaluation point. Okay, the opportunity was gone. And it was an opportunity to go into some self-blame. And then I realized, man, I just have to put up some crappy pictures. And my crappy picture, I'm just not crappy pictures, but I've taken so many pictures of the sky. And one of the biggest things that happens when I look back at old pictures, I say, wow, I don't know if I like this one. I mean, the colors weren't captured. A lot of the time, most of the time, the colors aren't captured when I take a picture. And it's like, so what's there? And there's elements of pictures there. And then you can identify the types of clouds, and it can fit in with a theme somewhere. And any one of those pictures can stand out like a sore thumb in front of all this AI stuff. So don't give up on Pinterest. I was thinking Instagram too. All right, so so that's falling out of love with your writing, right? Falling out of love with my pictures. I wasn't even planning on that story. So this is when I say that I'm surprised by something I come up with, or I share the example before explaining it. Is because what happens is when you turn on a camera or you turn on a recording device, there's something that happens. You want to keep the story going. You don't want to leave any empty spots, right? And if you just go with it, you stick with it, and be open to whatever possibilities come your way. However silly, however disconnected they may seem, you'll actually be surprised how often you're on topic and you're going forward. And as much as you think you're bouncing from topic to topic, too often you're right on it. And when people might say in the comments below, they might say, he's faking it. He's faking it. And then there's a lot of repetition for sure, but there's a lot of repetition in life. Listen to what your peeps say. Listen to the people you talk to. Listen to your teachers. Teachers are famously repetitive. Right about, and so, someone was like, well, I don't want to write about my situation, whatever situation it was. It could be a tragedy, whatever, or something that doesn't seem to relate, right? And you'd be surprised how this person might find a way to work their situation into their story in a way that is totally uplifting to them. But what happens is you want to follow the story pattern. Man, and I wanted to hold off on this topic that I'm going to give you in just a second to my next video. So I might as well say, hey, I'm the Story Sentence Coach. This is a new channel. Please like, subscribe, share. I know 100 videos is a lot for a new channel. I've got to find a new way. I'm just repeating myself, right? Woohoo! I've got a unicorn horn. Okay, so let's work into this again, because this is leading up to this huge idea I had. All right, so, and this is how I'm working it in, right? So you write about something that you're successful at, right? And then your pain points sort of work into that, because your success sort of is the completion. Take notes, because I can't keep track of this myself. I'm just like, I'm a medium. I'm speaking out, and you can put these things together. I'm working on different problems. Okay, so the storytelling pattern, the opportunity to evaluation, to what needs to change, that is geared for success. Even though you can end it in tragedy, even you can end this successful arc. Yeah, this sort of explains life too. So you've got this opportunity, you go through this evaluation, like what this means to you, and what it means to you personally, right? How it affects you personally. And then what needs to change, what matters most, what bothers you the most, okay? That structure leads to success in most circumstances. However, because we are pretty terrible at assessing the situation, I'm holding back on the idea a little bit. So we're so bad at assessing the situation that we fail. We fail because we observe the facts, but we react in our old-fashioned way. Doesn't matter how old you are. This is a fun one to work in here. It doesn't matter. You could be 17 years old or 14 years old, and you're writing this story about life and being stuck in this opportunity. You're stuck in this opportunity. Say you're a genius at chess, and it's like, well, I just know it. I just know it. It's easy for me. And I think a lot of prodigies go through this, and you're stuck with this. You don't want to write the story about how you became a chess champion. You're interested in something else. And this links way back to this video about how it seemed like there's a connection, that you need to fail at something. You need to be, this is really connecting well. You need to be a failure. You need to be untalented at something to really find the true success in it, and for something to find something that people really need. That's the story of my life 50 years ago. I was this kid who could, I'm breathing fast. I was this kid who could ace the tests, but didn't do any work. You know, it was boring. And I started rollerblading. Well, no, I started ice skating at that time. Nothing teaches you how to do something well than a program where there's a lot of people trying to knock you down. But there needs to be this core. The teacher needs to know where you're going. All right? And you become the teacher once you learn the full story pattern. All right. And how you connect with the story pattern, sign up for my newsletter down in the description below. This is fun. I didn't quite get to that idea I had this morning. I could just, I could have deleted that video. It's like, wow, that connection. I can't tell you how huge that connection is. It's coming up. And I think it's going to be like, is it in the next video? I don't know. I want to hold it off to the 4th video, because at that time, there's something changes in me. There's something about having skated for an hour and talked away about all these ideas, come up with new ones, right? These new connections. And then at that point, wow, I'm like the authority on something. I mean, I think that's the full runner's high, the full jogger's clarity. Yeah, definitely. All right, I'll see you soon later.